Hi friends, today we'll discuss of this Epstein-Barr virus case discussion. Okay, so now starting with the history portion. A 17-year-old female is brought to the physician office with evaluation of a sore throat and fever. Okay, so main features shown in the question is sore throat and fever. Her symptoms started approximately 1 week ago and have been worsening since then. She has been extremely fatigued and has spent most of the last 3 days in the bed. No ill contacts and all that is not there. On examination, she is tired and ill appearing. Temperature is around 38.5. Okay. Then examination of her pharynx shows her tonsils to be markedly enlarged. They are red in color, edematous, and they are covered with white exudates. Okay. And there is a cervical lymph endopathy which is mildly tender. The CVS examination is normal. Abdomen is soft without any organomegaly. But this particular test is being given up. That is the rapid streptococcal antigen test that was found to be negative. Okay. Then still after finding this particular test negative, they still send a what throat culture and decide to start amoxi or MP for the strep pharyngitis, assuming that the office test was false negative. They it was false negative as per them, so they assume that and they started with amoxi. 2 days later, they get a call from mother that she had an allergic reaction to the amoxi and she now had a red rash from head to toe. A definite question this in the exam, guys. Okay, this particular history will be given up. They try to confuse you with strepto. Okay, and this particular amoxi or MP that is being given up, and then there is a history of this particular drug reaction and might be having a rash from head to toe, which is a maculopapular rash. So guys, this is what is the history, and this particular a young female which have developed this. So this is the question scenario. What they can do, they can directly give the picture also. Okay, so this I am directly telling up the glandular fever is the other name of this kissing disease, Epstein-Barr virus infection, infectious mononucleosis. So that is amoxicillin rash. This is that particular rash which can observe up in this one. Fine. Besides this, this might be there in the question. Okay, if you see up now, enlarged ones, red erythematous, and there are white exudates. So they might give you this picture, or they might give you this particular picture of the amoxicillin rash or ampicillin rash along with this picture. Okay, so because the picture front is coming a lot, so we can focus upon this, and this is regarding the question that they are talking about what IM, that is infectious mononucleosis or kissing disease. Now, there is no points in guessing in this particular thing. What is the most likely diagnosis of this patient? This is IM. What is the most likely cause? Epstein-Barr virus. In what human cells can this virus replicate? So the B cells are the target of it. In what cells it can cause latency? These all answers you will be having in this. Okay. So basically the Epstein-Barr virus replicates in the epithelial cells and the B cells, and it's known to cause what? Latent infections in the B cell. So disease name is IM. Most likely etiology is Epstein-Barr virus, and this particular one is the preferred site for growing of one. Okay, and what has been shown in the picture in the question, this is maculopapular rash, and after instituting what? Amoxi or MP. Okay. Now this is the scenario. Besides this, you can go out for all these particular important points. Other than that, I would like to tell you that this particular fellow, that is Epstein-Barr virus, this is belonging to Gamma virni. Okay, this is a herpes virus family member, and the subfamily is Gamma virni. Okay, so Epstein-Barr is herpes. Remember this. Which number? HHV4. That is the number of Epstein-Barr bar. And the students only have made this mnemonic. The bar opens up to 4. So Epstein-Barr virus is HHV4. Fine. So remember this. Epstein-Barr virus is HHV4, and just now we have heard of which particular cells they affect up, mostly the B cell. Okay, because over them there is certain receptors, CD21, CR2. Okay, what is CR? CR is complement receptor, and CD21 is there over these B cells, and because of that only what happens, the polyclonal proliferation of B cells. Polyclonal proliferation of B cells, and you know what is polyclonal proliferation? That is the cancer. Okay, So remember this particular thing, that polyclonal proliferation happens with the B cells, and that is what is the number of carcinomas they associate with the Epstein-Barr virus. Okay, namely, which all carcinomas they associate, guys? Like important ones is nasopharyngeal carcinoma. I will be writing the short forms. Nasopharyngeal carcinoma. Okay. Besides that, what else? Which other ones are there? Burkitt's lymphoma, Hodgkin's lymphoma, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, oral hairy leukoplakia. Okay, oral hairy leukoplakia, which is there in the HIV positive ones also. This question was there in the All India. Besides this, remember it associates with tonsillar carcinoma also. Okay, it associates with tonsillar carcinoma also. Other than that, the important ones is IM, that is infectious mononucleosis, whose history is being given in that case history of that particular girl, 17 years old girl. So all these are being done by this particular fellow, that is the Epstein-Barr virus, which is which number? Human herpes virus 4. Okay, and which cause all these particular ones: nasopharyngeal carcinoma, Burkitt's lymphoma, Hodgkin's, non-Hodgkin's, oral hairy leukoplakia, tonsillar carcinoma, IM. Other than that, number of things are there like Duncan syndrome and all that stuff. So that can be later on in the broadly we can go for that. Okay. Besides that, the question other than this, what can come is what you find in this infectious mononucleosis. What you can find in this infectious mononucleosis. So what you can find in this, guys, one is lymphocytosis. Obviously, large number of normal numbers of T lymphocytes will be found. Atypical lymphocytes, they are enlarged T lymphocytes, and they are also termed as what? Downy cell. They are also termed as what? Downy cells. That is the other name of these atypical T lymphocytes, which have what? We have eccentric, these particular ones, they have eccentric nuclei and a vacuolated cytoplasm. Vacuoles are there in the cytoplasm, and there is a eccentric nuclei sideways. Okay, so an interesting thing here, guys, that this atypical lymphocytes are which lymphocytes? These are CD8 T cells. Okay, CD8 T cells. We have just heard of that the effect of B cells and all, but these atypical lymphocytes, they come out to be which one? CD8. They are cytotoxic T cells. Another question. Okay. Other than that, there is heterophile antibodies which are produced up, which is non-specific one, mostly IgM, and this, they recognize this Paul Bunel antigen, which is there in the sheep, horse, and bovine erythrocytes. Okay, and by this only we go for this particular test also. That is a Paul Bunel test, which is a heterophile agglutination test. Okay, and these heterophile agglutination tests, they come because of what? Non-specific antibodies. Now, if in the exam they show you that what is like how does this looks like, that is the Downy cells or atypical lymphocytes, CD8 ones. So this is the picture of them. They look like this. They are enlarged than the normal lymphocyte in the size. That's why they're termed as what? Atypical, because of eccentric nuclei and vacuolated cytoplasm. They are also termed as what? Downy cell. Now, I've talked about this, and besides in this important ones is that there are two types of antigens here on which the question can come. That is the early antigen and the nuclear antigen. So that is termed as what? Epstein-Barr nuclear antigen, that is IBNA. So other name of this one is IBNA, and they are like nowadays used in the diagnosis also. And what is the best for go for? You go for PCR for IBNA. So that also you need to remember. For these nuclear antigens, you can go for PCR and you can diagnose of this condition very well. Which one? Infectious mononucleosis by the PCR also. Obviously, all those clinical scenarios are also there, but PCR is an important entity which is now being developed up. The Epstein-Barr virus, now see this particular thing. These all things, they might prove important. The Epstein-Barr virus was first discovered in association with African Burkitt's lymphoma. So, the first question can come that Epstein-Barr virus was discovered when? It was discovered in the association of African Burkitt's lymphoma. Okay, and Burkitt's lymphoma, as per the pathology is concerned, which type of appearance, guys? Starry sky appearance. Okay, that is seen in this, and it's a common malignancy of the young children in the sub-Saharan Africa. The highest incidence of Burkitt's lymphoma appears to occur in the regions with a high incidence of malaria. See another question which is there in the exam, can be there in the exam, that the highest occurrence of Burkitt's lymphoma have an association with malaria also. The Africa endemic countries which have this malaria incidence very large, they tend to have this Burkitt's lymphoma. Okay, So malaria is a possible disease cofactor. Remember this. It's a possible disease cofactor, and might be they get around this and they give a history that the malaria endemic region is there, a particular child is this, developed this type of picture of the malignancy, which particular one, which virus is responsible for this. So you should be ready for all these types of questions in the new NEET and the FMG exam. Okay, so remember, it have a incidence, it have a correlation with the malaria, and it happens to be mostly in the sub-Saharan Africa. These particular incidents, mostly they are there in that particular one. Okay, so remember this particular one. Then other than this, the other EBV related diseases that includes are, you already have told just now that these all diseases, they are also there, which you can focus upon. Okay, and these all things are being discussed up properly. Now this is the picture which I am talking about. This is the Burkitt's lymphoma, which have an incidence with what? Malaria. Okay, and this is common where? It is common in the African one, sub-Saharan area. This is there in which this particular disease is common, Burkitt's lymphoma, and it happens due to what? Epstein-Barr virus. Epstein-Barr virus. Okay. Now, currently, there is no effective treatment for Epstein-Barr virus infection, nor is a viral vaccine available. Okay, nor is a viral vaccine available, and there is no effective treatment. Now, guys, can you tell me why there is no effective treatment for Epstein-Barr virus infection? Because a simple logic, it does not kill. Okay, why the world is mad about this corona and all? Because it is killing people every day. That's why everybody is fanatically behind the vaccine and all. So this particular virus does not do anything of that sort. It does not kill. So nobody is bothered about it. That how does it matter the Epstein-Barr virus infection happens and all. So mostly it lands up in what? In the research purpose stuff, because nobody is serious regarding this. As such also, like it is being said that Epstein-Barr virus infections in children tend to be less severe and the immunity developed is lifelong. Okay, so this is also one of the entity which is there in this, and it is speculated by some clinicians that the early exposure to this may be a means of preventing more severe infections and symptomatic disease. So basically what they want to say that in children it is less severe, and if at all it happens also to the children, they develop immunity that is lifelong, and mostly those particular ones, the individuals are there which tends to get this particular disease in the like young age and all. Okay, they develop this disease in the young age and all, and that also is not so life threatening and all. That's why a lot of research is not being done in this particular field. That's what I want to say. Okay, now see this particular question. It's a good question. Which of the following statement regarding the serological diagnosis of infectious mononucleosis is correct? The first option is heterophile antibodies formed that reacts with the membrane protein of the EBV. Not, it is not so. A heterophile antibody is formed that agglutinate the sheep or horse RBC. Just now we have done that in the Paul Bunner test. This is what is there. The answer is this. But still we look out for the C option. The heterophile antigen occurs that cross-reacts with atypical lymphocytes. No, it does not cross-react with the atypical lymphocytes. That is with the, basically there is an antibody which is being produced, and that is Paul Bunner test is used to detect that. A heterophile antigen occurs following infection with both EBV and CMV. If you remember up, that there is the entity termed as mononucleosis-like syndrome, and the mononucleosis-like syndrome happens to be with the CMV, with the HHV6 also, okay, and lot of others. They can cause mononucleosis-like syndrome, but that the infectious mononucleosis mainly is done by what? Epstein-Barr virus. Remember this. Okay, the answer to this question was second. That there is a heterophile antibodies which are developed up that agglutinate the sheep or horse RBCs. Fine. So this is the another presentation of this, the trash after giving out the amoxi in the IM. So might be this will be there in the exam. So this is nasopharyngeal carcinoma. Okay. And what is this, guys? Tell me. This is oral hairy leukoplakia. Okay. see the side of this lateral side of the tongue, it is this whitish one, and history of all this, that is Epstein-Barr virus, will be given up in the question. They can ask up, and the patient is HIV positive also. So when all these things are there and this picture is there, then you can very well think that we are talking about what? We are talking about oral hairy leukoplakia, which is done by what? Epstein-Barr virus. Which number? That is HHV4. Which family? Family is herpes, subfamily is gamma viridae. HHV4 is Epstein-Barr, HHV5 is cytomegalovirus. And this always remain a confusion that CMV is which number and Epstein-Barr virus is which number. So this one is HHV4 bar, remember from bar. And regarding the CMV, you remember of this V is 5. So this is termed as what? HHV5. Okay. So CMV is HHV5, Epstein-Barr virus is HHV4. Fine. So I hope you get my point in this particular discussion up. And in just one gist, I would like to tell you that mostly the young fellows, they caught up in this infectious mononucleosis disease. That's why it is also termed as what? Like kissing disease, because of the salivary contact. Okay, during the kissing, that might happen up. What is the most likely finding? You can find up the vitis exudate and enlarged tonsils and all. Besides this, lymphadenopathy is there, cervical lymphadenopathy, that is mildly tender. Along with that, you can find up various other manifestations here, like this particular one, that after giving up the ampicillin and amoxi, there might be a formation of some rash, and that particular one is a drug reaction that might be there in the history also. So this all things are there in this particular ones. Thank you so much.